Hello?
Hello, is this Mr. Wooten?
Yeah, this is Victor.
Hey, how you doing today?
I'm doing well. Sorry, I was trying to get off the phone with my wife, and it hung up on you, so sorry about that.
No, that's all right. I really appreciate your time today. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Well, I won't keep you too long, but I wanted to ask you first about your new album, Tripnotics. I know it's your first solo album in a few years here. Can you tell the listeners a bit about it? What can we expect?
A lot of fun. Yeah, high-level musicianship. You'll see and hear things you've never seen before, but pure enjoyment.
Well, can you tell us a bit about who's with you on the new album? I know you've got a couple of guys, and it seems like everyone plays a little of everything on the new one.
Yeah. Well, Dennis Chambers on drums, Bob Franceschini on saxophone, and myself on bass. So that's the core band. So all the music comes from us, instrument-wise, but there are a few other voices. No real lyrics, but voices. One being Michael Winslow. And he's known for making sound effects and things on movies like Police Academy,
sure,
Spaceballs, and things like that. He's on there. And I also found a female vocalist from India, and her name is Vari Joshri Venugopal, a little bit different. But she's singing along with melodies. She also sang along with one of my bass solos. She's really unbelievable. And then there's some other voices here and there. So it just gives the music a little bit more depth and gives the album a lot more variety. And it's a lot of fun. It's a great record.
Yeah, I know you are a very busy guy. It's great that, amongst all the other stuff you got going on, you're still able to get these solo albums out here and there. And I wanted to ask you, I guess, a bit about your playing style and, how it developed over the years and, the way you use your thumb and all that. Is that from anyone in particular, or is that just kind of something you've developed over the years?
Sure. Well, a little both. But if you give, first, my oldest brother taught me when I was very, very young. And if you give a guitar or a bass to anyone who's never played it before, they're going to hold it and play it with their thumb. They're not going to ask for a pick. A kid is not going to try to use two fingers the way a bass player does. They're going to they're going to play with their thumb. That's the natural way. So my older brother Reggie says, okay, you want to learn how to play with your thumb? I'm going to show you how to really use your thumb. He showed me how to use my thumb the same way he uses a guitar pick in both directions. And he showed me lots of things that now there's names for, techniques nobody was doing at the time. And then I just kept expanding on it. And it's turned into what it is now. But it started with what my brother Reggie showed me.
Well, Victor, at this stage in your career, are you still discovering new things with the bass or new ways to play things after being, playing since you were a little kid?
Of course. Music is like counting to infinity. It doesn't matter how far you count, you're no closer to the end of it. There's always more. But you can look back and see how far you've come. And I do both. I keep going forward, but I look back and happy with what I've been able to accomplish. And I can use what I've accomplished to help others accomplish even more.
Yeah, that's excellent. I know you are a very determined person. I've seen other interviews where you've kind of described how you just sit down and work on something until you figure it out. I got to say, years ago when I picked up a copy of Show of Hands, I used to fancy myself as a bass player, but after listening to that, you kind of just want to give up a little bit. But as you said, you can always learn something.
Right. You never hear somebody talk and say, "Wow, he's so good, I'm going to quit talking." So that mentality is an adult mentality. I heard a thing on Facebook that said, a baby doesn't try to walk 50 times and fall and say, well, I guess this walking thing's not for me. That's an adult way of thinking because we compare ourselves and we judge our worth by comparison, and we think that unless I'm as good as you, I'm not worth anything. And that's just not the case. I don't think that way, and I'm fortunate that I don't. Because, it doesn't matter how good you or anyone else plays or how poorly you or anyone else plays. If somebody wants you to play on their record, they can't call me. No matter how good I am or people think I am, they can't call me to be someone else, And so in that case, we're all the best because we're all individuals. Everybody has their own individual fingerprint, and we can't say that one is better than the other. And that's the truth of life. The rest of the thing are just kind of falsehoods that we imagine up that have no truth to them. So, there is no way that a child is going to see their big brother dunk the basketball and say, man, I'm never playing basketball. A child is going to use that to inspire them so that they learn to dunk the basketball faster than the brother learned it. And that's what the big brother wants. So to me, that's the natural, mentality that's really conducive to people growing.
Definitely. Well, Victor, you've been on the scene for a long time. I want to ask you, if there are any players, bass players on the scene nowadays that are impressing you or that you're seeing doing new things.
Young bass players doing new things?
Yeah.
Oh, man, there's many. Yeah. I see great bass players all the time now because of Facebook and the internet, all that. You can find them easily. What's his name? Michael Pipoquinha, I think is his name. Guy from Brazil. Amazing young bass player. There's this little young bass player who's maybe even still like 10 years old or something. Little Asmar, Lil apostrophe, Lil Asmar. His dad's been teaching him. He's really good. And he's just a real little kid. I do these music camps in Tennessee, and I see young bass players, not just bass players, all kinds of musicians. I mean, that are like, 14 years old that are just playing all my stuff, all Jocko stuff. They sound great. So I know they're going to be good really good one day. Because right now they're just copying, which is what you're supposed to do. And they don't have the experience to say what they want to say yet. But they're there and they're coming along. So, yeah, there's a lot of them out there, a lot.
Well, as I mentioned, you've been playing since you were a little kid, and, the music business has changed so much over the years. Is it tough to make a living, I guess, playing this style of music now, the way things have changed as far as the record industry goes?
I'm sure it is for a lot of people. Fortunately, it hasn't been for me because I'm still able to work. But you have to find different ways of doing it because it is difficult to sell a record. People as a whole aren't buying music the way they used to. We expect it for free. I heard it said one time that right now we make sure I get it right. We pay for television and expect our music free, where it used to be the opposite. And that's the case. We want to stream it and we want to get it for free or just download it. And that's a different concept. So we have to find other ways of making our living because it doesn't come through record sales. And so playing live is one, running my music camps is one, teaching is one, writing books is another. There's still ways of doing it, but it's not, for the most part, it's not record sales.
Well, as far as the touring goes, I know you're coming back on the road here with your solo band. For the listeners out there, I guess if they've never seen your shows before, can you explain a little bit of what a Victor Wooten show might be like?
Sure. The main thing is that whether you like the music or not, you will recognize that you are looking at three high-level musicians who understand their craft and are at the height, at the top of their field. And that's really nice to see in any field. But you're going to see things you've never seen before. You're going to understand that these three musicians are good musicians. But I also believe people are going to enjoy the music because I'm not the kind of artist that just wants to play in a way that, just hits your ears. I want to attack you musically on different levels so that you feel something, so that you hear something, so that you see something, so that I make you think. I want to try to bring all of those elements to the show so that you have a bigger experience than just hearing good music. So I think you're going to have, when you come to our shows, you're going to have an experience. You're not just going to hear a good show or some good music. I think you're really going to have an enjoyable experience.
Awesome. I know you are always on the road either with your solo stuff or with the Flecktones. Is that an easy transition to go from the Flecktones to doing your solo stuff? Or do you have different things you need to keep in mind for either show?
Well, the answer is both. Yes, there are things I have to keep in mind, but no, the transition is not hard for me, and because it's me, I am the common denominator, and it's just music that we're playing. I love to play music, whether it's with a banjo player or with a sax player. I just love to play music, but they are two different. Two different circumstances with two different types of responsibility. With my own band, I'm in charge of making sure everyone's taken care of and happy and set lists and things like that. Where with the Flecktones, Bela's the one doing that. Of course, we all play our part, but there's less responsibility for me when I'm with the Flecktones. But with my own band, I feel a whole lot more responsible. And it's fun, so I'm glad I get to do both. When I tour with Mike Stern or get to play with Chick Corea. Different experiences every time you go somewhere different. And I like that. It makes me more of a man, more of a human, and much more of a musician.
Awesome. And I know, Victor, you mentioned some of the other stuff you're involved with. And I know you said the workshops and the summer camps and the things you hold. Is that important to you to work with the kids with music, because of the way that you came up with your brothers at such a young age?
It is important to me, and just to be clear, is the camps are not only in the summer. We do them usually March or April through September or October every year.
Okay.
We do something every month, and our camps are all ages. Most of our camps are ages 15 and up. Our oldest member being 74 so far.
Wow.
So I like working with adults also, because kids mimic adults, and when adults don't have it together, the kids don't have it together. So if we can teach adults how to be better people and better musicians, it makes it easier for the kids. So I like doing both. I really love doing both. I just love to share my love of music and my knowledge of music. I love to share it with people. So I'm glad that I get to do it. I'm right now in Boston at Berklee College of Music, where I teach 5 days every month. So that's a lot of fun, where I get to share every month with students from around the world here at Berklee. And I'm lucky enough that I don't have to only work with bass players. I get to work with people from all the different departments, and I really love it. So to get back to the question, yes, for me it's important, but I think it's important for me just as much as it is for other people. I love to do it for myself because I think that teaching completes the circle of any knowledge, meaning whatever you will know it more and better if you can teach it. And so in having to teach it, I learn a whole lot more. So it's great. It's a great enjoyment for me, and I hope the students get a lot out of it. I think they do.
Awesome. And again, the new album, Tripnotics, is out, and you're going back on tour. And, as you mentioned, you're teaching, and I know you've had a book out and writing some other ones. Always something going on. Is there anything else maybe in the works or anything else you want to touch on?
Sure, yeah. My book that I wrote called The Music Lesson will celebrate its 10th year anniversary next year, 2018. So my hope is to have the sequel to that book out. So I'm currently working on that. So I'll have that new book. I'm always running camps. So if people go to my website, victorwooten.com, they'll be able to, within a few days, see the schedule for next year. Again, teaching at Berklee and on tour. While I'm on tour, I'm doing music clinics during the day. So I'm able to keep busy. I've got a wife and 4 kids, so that keeps me busy. And so I have a lot of fun things going on. Also just put out a new book called The Bass Workshop, which is an instruction booklet, helping musicians get better. So it's fun. It's very, very fun. I'm happy that I get to do a lot of different things.
Excellent. Again, Victor, I'm such a huge fan. As I mentioned, trying to learn your stuff, it's discouraging at times, but, I'm going to keep at it. As you mentioned, it just takes the work, and I appreciate you taking the time out with me today. Thank you so much.
I appreciate it. Thanks for speaking with me.
All right, you bet. Thank you.
All right, you take care.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.